What up, what up, what up? What's going on, everyone? I am so excited. Obviously, guys, we have our TGIM on tonight, guys. Thank God it's Monday, which means we're going to have a new guest speaker on tonight. And I'm so excited, guys. All right, guys, so tonight we're going to get straight into it. So if you guys have never been on this call, I'm excited to introduce the guest speaker. So, guys, what normally happens is we have a guest speaker come on. You're going to hear their story for the first 10 to 15 minutes. And then you're going to have a spot there straight after to ask any questions. For you guys that have been in the business or if you're fairly new, this is the perfect opportunity, guys. Feel free to start putting in the questions now as well. Now, guys, what will happen is you'll see there in your little box is a little chat box at the bottom there. You can write questions in that at any time, and we can answer them. Stephen's going to go through them at the end, and I'm going to read them out to him, and he's going to go through as many questions as we can or as time permits. So, guys, without further ado, I want to welcome up, and I'm going to unmute everyone so we can give him a big welcome when we do that as well. Guys, I want a big round of applause for Global Expansion Team 2500, my mentor, my actual sponsor, guys. I'm super excited. Stephen Nguyen, guys, let's all welcome him up. All right, guys, you ready? I'll mute everyone. All right. I'll mute everyone and I'll find Stephen. I'll unmute you. Stephen. Hey, Stephen, welcome.
Awesome. Thank you, bro. Thank you for the very nice introduction. The really cool thing about being a part of Herbalife is not only do I get the chance to work with Bo, but I've learned a ton in working with him at the same time. So we mentor each other through the whole journey, through life and through our transformation and through business and everything like that. So thank you, Bo, for that introduction.
Thank you.
So, yeah, guys. I might just start off with introducing myself, if that's okay. So I'm actually based in Sydney, and a bit about my journey, guys. So I actually got introduced to these amazing products a little bit over 5 years ago. So I've been taking Herbalife, or me and my family have been taking Herbalife now. I've been personally taking it for a little bit over 5 years. And I might ask just Bo if he can, maybe just to give you guys a better indication of my journey so far. Maybe Bo can bring up my before and after transformation photo. And I don't really want Bo to show you guys just my transformation photo. Bo should have it there. So as he's bringing it up, yeah, you know, I'm based in Sydney, and I guess my journey before Herbalife was the middle one, maybe, Bo. And I really don't want to show you guys my photo just to impress you guys, but I really want to show you guys the power of what, you know, this is how, you know, this is, you know, part of the biggest breakthrough that I had in my life. So that photo that you can see there, that was my photo before Herbalife. And to most people, my journey before Herbalife was, you know, I was really the guy that you'd see at the gym working out extremely hard. And I was already working out very hard, you know, before Herbalife. I was working out for like 8 years. And most people would look at me and they'd say, yes, Stephen, you're pretty fit. You know, you've worked out for a very long time. But you'll be pleasantly surprised that my before photo, and the reason why I wanted to show you guys is sometimes it's not just how you look on the outside that represents really how your health is and how you actually feel. That before photo, before Herbalife, I was actually diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis. So throughout the couple years, it slowly crept up on me, and I got to a stage of my life, even at that before photo, and from the outside, I looked really fit. I got to a stage where I had really chronic rheumatoid arthritis, where there was days where I couldn't even walk. I could literally not even get off my bed. So this was really when my journey really started with Herbalife. That's when I got to sort of, you would call, the lowest point in my life. And surprisingly, even though after being working out for 8 years, you would imagine that, even measuring my body fat at that stage, I was like 20% body fat. And I just got to a stage in my life where I felt like it was the rock bottom, and so that's when I got introduced to Herbalife. I got introduced by a mentor of mine. His name's Stefan, and I met this person I got to a stage in my life where not only it's really funny, like in life, when you're on your knees, it seems like life will bring you down even further. And so when I got diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis, everything around my world just seemed like it was crashing down. So, and the way that I actually found Herbalife was I met my mentor, and that's the way that usually you get introduced to Herbalife. Was I met him through traveling with, like doing some coaching programs, attending some seminars, and I actually met my mentor through doing a course called Tony Robbins. I don't know if you guys on this call, I don't know, has anyone ever heard of Tony Robbins before? Raise your hand if you've heard of Anthony Robbins or Tony Robbins, the motivational speaker. So I really believe in one thing, right? One of the things that Tony Robbins has always said was, you really take massive action in your life because of 2 reasons. And the first reason being either inspiration, which is usually not the reason, or desperation. So I don't know where you guys are at in your life, but I got to a point where, because of the arthritis, it really got me to a stage where I was desperate and I was literally on my knees, And that's when I really got immersed into Herbalife, and I started using the amazing products. And not just, and a huge disclaimer, Herbalife doesn't cure anything like that, but it just makes sense when you start feeding your body really good nutrition, following a really good healthy meal plan, using really good tools such as Herbalife to feed your body with the best nutrition. Your body, as we know in Herbalife, naturally moves towards wellness. So as you can see that photo here, this was one of my transformations. This was my first week, my first 12 weeks on Herbalife. So I managed to not only have mobility again, and I started to feel alive just because I started feeding my body with an abundance of nutrients. But at the same time, I started to transform my body at the same time. So I managed to get below 10% body fat here within 12 weeks. I started to feel a huge energy shift. But I think what was more important was I was working out the same as I was before. And just by following that principle of like 80% nutrition that's taught in Herbalife and 20% fitness, I had a major breakthrough in my life. And this was really the start of my Herbalife journey. So as I got amazing results, the first people that I started to help to get the same results and really just go out there and also have that same breakthrough in their life was I started to influence my friends and family. My dad is just an example. And Bo, if you want to show that picture that I sent you of my dad's 59 years of age, because a lot of people would look at me and they say, hey, Steven, it's awesome that you can get amazing results just because you're young and you've worked out for 8 years. So most people don't work out. They're not like you. So here's a picture, and you might be able to see my dad. And I show you these guys, especially for the brand new people, hoping to inspire you guys that my dad's 59. He's turning 60 this year. And he's got a metabolic age of a 25-year-old, and he's 12% body fat. So I hope for some of you that are brand new on this call that you're somewhat inspired by that. So as a result of being able to go out there and help myself and help my family, my dad really became an amazing ambassador for Herbalife. He became the living proof really for me that validated that my family was able to follow a very simple meal plan and follow a very simple Herbalife nutrition program, that you could really have a breakthrough in your life, So as a result of doing this, just so you know, my full-time, my background is I'm involved in a family business. We sell seafood. It's got nothing to do with health and nutrition. I don't have any qualifications in fitness or anything like that. All I had was an amazing breakthrough and a strong desire to help myself and my family. And as a result, now one of the things that I get to do, part-time is I actually have some clients, not some clients, I've got clients even based here in Australia, but some even based around the world, because Herbalife is just based around the world, you can really go and share this with many people around the world. So I get the privilege now of, still maintaining my full-time job, but also as part of my legacy and paying it forward, I get the privilege now of helping other people transform their body at the same time. So to be honest with you guys, I really pinch myself sometimes, because I even told my fiance, or my soon-to-be wife, in 2 weeks that I never imagined one day. My background is I studied, commerce in university. I've always wanted to be involved in something. I've always had a passion for health and fitness. I've always had a passion for you always hear the saying that, go and find something that you love and that changes people's lives, and then you get to do it for a living. And I always pinch myself, because I never thought that I'd be in a position where I'd be serving shakes for a living. I would be helping people change their lives and transform their health, and to become a great ambassador for an amazing company. I really pinch myself that I get to do this for a living. So as a result of really doing this part-time and hoping to inspire some of you on this call that also have some big dreams like myself, that you also want to get involved in something that's also going to give you a chance to help yourself and help the people around you. But at the same time, you get to actually do something that's going to make a difference in this world. As a result of doing this, now I've been able to actually build my part-time income to sort of become like a full-time legacy for me, So at this stage, guys, to be honest with you, I'm at a crossroad in my life right now where the income that I earn in Herbalife really is, I'm in a position where it actually matches my full-time income working in our family business. And just to give you guys an idea, doing Herbalife part-time, I earn anywhere from, say, minimum of $5,000 a month, and my biggest income so far has been close to $10,000 a month doing it part-time. And I hope that for the brand new people in this call, you don't take what I'm saying the wrong way, because believe me, it's not just about the income. You can see as a result, my dad is just one example. My mom's lost 22% body fat without going to the gym. And really the amazing thing about Herbalife is the amount of money that you make in Herbalife is really just a direct reflection of the number of lives you get to touch, So it's been an unreal journey for me. And I really hope that my journey has just been one example to inspire some of you on this call of really what's possible in your life right now, So, and I really believe that I'm really at just, we're really at the beginning of my journey, and I can't wait for what the future has to hold for me and my family. So, the really cool thing that I want to sort of finish up in sharing, and I'd love to open up and sort of have a chat to you guys rather than me just going on a rant, is my younger sister. She's got a qualification in early childhood. Her goal was to one day, open up her own childcare. And I'm so proud to say that she's had an amazing transformation as well. She's in the best shape of her life. And what she does full-time right now, and she's really never had a full-time job, is she does full-time, and she also coaches people around the world. And she's been able to help hundreds of people transform their lives, especially busy mums that are looking to take out the guesswork. So I'm super proud to say that now it's sort of become like a family legacy for us, So I might hand it over back to you, Bo. Not sure what you've got planned here, but I hope that's inspired some of you guys. And thank you for having me on.
Stephen, that's awesome. That's incredible. And, by the way, it's so cool every time, hearing that, just how many people can be impacted by somebody saying yes. You know what I mean? You can make such a big impact. You can see pretty much majority of the people on this call have come in because Stephen said yes. And, you guys could have that same impact out there today. Stephen, so I've got a couple of questions. And guys, just while we're going over this now, guys, this is the time to put in your questions to the chat box. And I'm going to read them out to Stephen just after this. So guys, start firing some of those questions away. So Stephen, that's incredible. So so you're doing this very part-time. How many hours do you think you put in a week to be earning, that income, by the way, and because that's incredible. Like, how many hours since you sort of started would you say you've been putting in each week?
I'd say that initially when I started, Bo, at the beginning, I was really part-time. I was probably, when I started initially, just so you guys know, and it was really flexible. I would obviously work it around my full-time job. I was probably doing 5 to 10 hours originally when I started, and then I went to and I would say right now, um, I would probably invest about 15 hours, 15 to 20 hours a week. And the reason why I do that now, Bo, and I do it much more than before, is because, to be honest with you, I'm at a crossroad right now. The amount of money that I earned full time in running our family business, my part time income in Herbalife nearly matches that. So it just makes logical sense. That I spend my time obviously where what I'm passionate about at the same time, and the income is the same as my full time income. So
Awesome.
I'm proud to say that it's kind of cool. It's kind of surreal for me.
That's very cool. And so we've got some of these questions start rolling in, and the first one's pretty much what we're sort of just talking about then, Stephen. So, the question's from Brad Flynn. He says, how do you juggle, time still building, Herbalife while working full time in a business?
That's a good question. One of the things that's really made the biggest difference. Hi, Brad. Hi, Lisa. The biggest difference for me is Herbalife. For some of my friends, they say to me, Stephen, like, do you do Herbalife as a business? Is this something you do part time? Like, we noticed that you coach a lot of people and you help a lot of people. And this might sound really simple to you guys, but my response to my friends that makes it seem so seamless for me is, within my family now, I don't sell Herbalife. I don't do Herbalife. Herbalife has become like a religion in my family. And I mean that every single day when we wake up, anyone from my 12-year-old sister, to my mom, the first thing that we do, it's kind of like a ritual in our family that we have our shakes first thing in the morning, because we understand one thing. We've all had an amazing transformation, like every single person in my family. My little sister is 12. She doesn't do it because she's trying to gain weight or lose weight. She's just doing it because we want to make sure that she functions optimally. And so it's really become so seamless for me, bro, to be honest with you. So the way that I juggle this is I do it after hours. And even my fiance, she thinks I'm crazy because I would spend Sundays, even when I'm out at the shop, speaking to people and raving on about my amazing results or the transformation that I've had. And so I really work it around my hours. But I would say that the biggest part of my success, and some people might look at me and say, look, Stephen, how did you become, how did you grow so fast within Herbalife, and how did you bring on board so many clients? And I would say this to you guys: if you're on this call and you're looking to see if you're looking to kind of generate some of the results that I've been able to generate, is you need to find a way to fall in love with the company and the product. You need to fall in love with the company and the product so much that you move away from selling the product, because I never sell the product. I just share my results, And I'll give you one example, one very quick example. My dad was at the shops the other day. He referred me a customer that I've worked with now for 3 weeks. He's dropped 10.1 kilos in 3 weeks.
Wow.
And he started off with just a shake a day. That's all he could afford because he was on Centrelink. And the reason why my dad is semi-retired already. He's got no desire to ever become a coach. He's got no desire to ever build a Herbalife business or do Herbalife or anything like that. The only thing that my dad did differently was my dad loves the company so much that when he meets someone that's overweight, or when someone sees him, because my dad is in incredible shape, when someone sees him and say, hey, you're in incredible shape, my dad just knows one thing. And my dad goes on a bit of a rant and he shares his story. He's like, I'm 59. I can be 12% body fat. All you got to do is change what you eat. And they always ask, the following question is, what do you eat? That's usually what people ask. Eat and exercise, that's all you got to do. And to be honest with you guys, most people can exercise, they can work hard. Very few people know how to eat right. That's the problem. That's the reason why obesity is happening so quickly and most people struggle. And my dad, and the guy obviously said, okay, tell me what you eat. And my dad's like, look, my dad doesn't really even speak English probably. My dad was like, look, if you want to find out what I eat, here's my son, you can call him. And the guy literally calls me. And that's literally how I've been able to help hundreds of people in Herbalife, But I would say that, now that I've got so many clients that I've got to manage around the world, and I also have a team of coaches that I get the privilege of working with and coaches, I obviously need some form of structure. But I would say the biggest thing is this: if you're brand new on this call, you need to go out there and get the transformation of your life. That is the first thing you got to do, so that you move away from having to sell any product at all, whether you work with Herbalife, whether you do anything. And I'll give you one example, right? Who here has got a favorite restaurant? Who's got a favorite restaurant? Raise your hand if you're on this call and you have a favorite restaurant that you love, right? Or you got a favorite country or place that you love. So I'll give you one example, right? Who here has ever told one of their friends or family that, hey, Brad, you've got to go to this restaurant. It's on the Gold Coast. It's called whatever it is. It's called ABC Restaurant, and they have the best burgers in the world. Go there, and it's going to change your life. There's many of us, we go and we rave about a particular restaurant, and we say to our friends, you've got to go there. It's going to change your life. And many people talk about that, and you don't even get paid. My fiance does the same thing. When she eats at somewhere she loves, she tells everyone about it. She doesn't get paid. The most amazing thing, that's the attitude you've got to have about Herbalife. When you meet someone, you've got to fall in love with the company so much, or the product so much, that you rave about it, because my whole family does that. That's literally what we do. But I do have a schedule right now, Bo. So I do have a schedule. I do try and I'm terrible at it, by the way. I do have a schedule, like a time management schedule, where I focus in times that I go and I coach my clients. Obviously, I have to do that. I can't do it by chance. And then I have another schedule where I block out time. And I'm very religious about some of the things that I do. So I would switch off all social media and I'll turn everything off. I've even put my phone on airplane mode. I put a stopwatch on for 60 minutes. And if that's the time that I spend in going out there and speaking to people and speaking to people about my results and so forth, I do that. But the one thing that I'm very diligent about is that I do every day is 60 minutes of working with clients, 60 minutes of speaking to brand new people and going out there and paying it forward. That's definitely one of the things that I do, and I time block, and I literally put my phone on airplane mode, and you have to take away all the distractions, because you guys know what it's like when you start jumping on social media and you start scrolling your feed. Half an hour later, 2 hours later, you're still on social media. You're looking through your Facebook and you see that Shani's just got a new dog or something like that, and then you get carried away. So I really think if you really want to take control of and master an area of your life, it's like when you go and work out. You don't go on the treadmill while you're doing something. You're trying to read a book at the same time, right? So I hope I haven't gone on a tangent to answer your question, Brad, but I think it really starts with you getting discipline, and for the brand new people on the call, you working on your transformation, as simple as that sounds, right?
Awesome. So we've got a few other questions here. We've got one here from Sherilyn. So she says she has another form of arthritis, and what do you do to keep positive mindset? Because sometimes, obviously, it can be quite painful, and sometimes it can be a bit too much. So obviously, you've definitely struggled with that. So you can relate.
Sure, definitely. I've been at my worst, and I'll tell you, like chronic, like to the point where I couldn't even get out of bed to use the bathroom. So I've been at my worst. So I would say that. Sorry, what was the name of the person that asked this question again, Bo? Who was the person? Sorry, I couldn't hear. What was that? Sherilyn. I would say, Sherilyn, the biggest thing is this, right? Can I sum up to you the most amazing thing? And this might not be the answer you want to hear. The most profound thing about my whole experience, my whole health breakthrough, my journey with Herbalife has been this. Has been that my journey with Herbalife, and I hope that you guys get to experience a taste of what I've got to experience so far. The biggest thing that I've gained from being a part of this amazing community and having an amazing transformation with Herbalife is not achieving the goal of getting in the best shape of my life, being under 10% body fat, but it's been being a part of this amazing community alone and having mentors, having coaches around me, having other people that I look up to that inspire me every single day. Is the biggest thing is when you become a part of this community long enough, the number one thing that I believe you're going to get out of this is what it's going to make of you. And what I mean is, it's not even about the goal. Sometimes when people talk about, you do something so that you can achieve the goal, you do something because what you're going to become as a result of that. And as a result of doing this, as a result of being around positive people, that's the first thing, because I believe who you hang around is who you become. So I would say to the person that asked this question, doing a lot of personal development, but I think getting around people that are not going to let you stop. Because one of the things that I thought about was when I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis, and for 6 months straight, I couldn't even use the bathroom properly by myself. It felt like a death sentence to me. And it wasn't because I got around amazing people that said to me, Stephen, you have a choice. You either treat this illness as a death sentence, like the way some people treat cancer, like the way some people treat certain diseases, or you have that mindset that your body can conquer anything. It can cure cancer if it wants, you know. So I think getting around positive people, as simple as it sounds, is really important. So here's an amazing community that you can get around with, doing a lot of personal development. And it makes logical sense that you need to feed your body with an abundance of nutrients so it can heal itself. And Herbalife is just one of those tools that you can use just to feed your body with as much nutrients humanly possible. That's really what it is. It's really you just eating as much vegetables as possible, you know, and you're getting it through a shake, or that's one form. So I hope that answers your question. And look, hey, I take all of the Herbalife products because really it's just it's my health insurance. That's really what it is. It's my security blanket. So
awesome. So we got a few more questions. So Stephen, we got one from Tamara here. What has been your biggest challenge with Herbalife so far?
My biggest challenge in Herbalife so far. And hi, Mara. What was that?
Having me as your downline?
No, definitely not. You know, I would say that I couldn't think of an answer. You know, when you ask me that question, you know what I think of? I think of just the challenges, the everyday challenges that I have in my life. Because Herbalife is just such an integrated part of my life that, you know, just the daily challenges, to be honest with you, Tamara, it's nothing related just specifically to Herbalife. Those that have been around for a very long time, like Brad and Lisa, I'm sure they can relate to this. You know, Herbalife and life for me, there's no separation. Like I do Herbalife half, you know, like, and then I switch off from Herbalife and then I go into life, you know. So, yeah, I would say that just daily challenges, but I would say more specifically, Tamara, if you're asking me like the biggest challenges, like more specific, if I can kind of answer them more specific towards Herbalife is having enough time, is finding the balance, having enough time to go out there and to speak to as many people as possible. And sometimes, you know, that fear, you know, like especially for people that are brand new, thinking that fear of like the fear of failure, to be honest with you. The fear of failure of going out there and speaking to someone else and making them feel like I'm selling them something, and that fear. And I think that fear would come back to for anyone, especially if you're on, you know, if you're on this call and you're thinking about, hey, Stephen, I'm brand new and I want to go out there and I really want to go and share Herbalife with other people, but I'm scared to speak to other people. And I would say that fear is because you don't believe in yourself enough. I would say that that's the reason why. And I would say that the solution to that is you need to go and work on yourself enough, work on your mind, work on your own transformation, where you believe in it so much that you can run through a brick wall, you know. So, but I would say that the biggest challenge that I would have in Herbalife, if I could, is not having enough time to speak to more people. You know, if I could, I would go out there and speak to many people, many more people, so that I can change the world and also change my own financial situation and also impact my family at the same time, you know. I would say that going out there, speaking to enough people, having enough time, I think generally that is the biggest challenge that I have in Herbalife, you know. So
awesome, Stephen. Okay, so we've got a couple more here that we want to get through. So another one from Brad is, do you take advantages of the trainings and try to plug people into it? It's a good question.
Yeah, it's a great question. So one of the biggest things that I learned from Tony Robbins is this. There's two ways that you can become successful or Lisa, great question, Lisa. There's two ways there's one of the things that I've learned in my life. There's two ways of becoming successful in any area of your life. It doesn't matter if it's Herbalife. It doesn't matter if you're trying to do a transformation. There's two ways. And I don't think anyone on this call is going to deny this. Tony Robbins says you can work smarter or harder in your life. And the first way of becoming successful in an area of your life, such as Herbalife, for example, is one, to go and figure it out yourself, okay? So you can go and read all the textbooks you want. You can go and learn how to swim through reading a textbook. The second way of becoming successful in any area of your life is to go and model or learn from someone else. And I don't know about you guys, but if it was up to me and I could work smarter and I could fast track or compress time, I'd much rather go and find someone that's successful and learn off them. Would you guys agree that's the fastest way of becoming successful, right? Find someone and say to them, hey, Brad, hey, Lisa, tell me all the mistakes you made so I don't make the same mistakes, and tell me all the things you did that allowed you to become incredibly successful. Because I know Brad and Lisa's been 23 years within Herbalife. I don't want to go through 23 years of learning. I just want to learn things that you've done successfully. And so one of the things that I've been able to do to fast track any area of my life, whether it's my own transformation, which is that's the benefit of having a coach, having an upline, or whether it's been going out there and being able to bring on more clients so that I can grow my income, my part-time income, has definitely been going to events. I would definitely encourage you guys that by going to events and being a student, this is how you fast track your growth in Herbalife and you accelerate time, So that's a non-negotiable for me because I understand that. I never forget that's the way that Tony Robbins has always taught people. And that's the reason why I go to events, I go to seminars, but I go to a lot of Herbalife events, and it's a non-negotiable for me because I don't want to waste time, and I really want to accelerate time. So definitely events are non-negotiable. If you've never been to a Herbalife event, you've got to get to one. If you've been skipping some events, don't ever say to yourself, why am I not growing? Because you're not learning, and you're not learning from other people, and that's stunting your growth. I promise you that, so.
Awesome. And Stephen, so on the subject of events, we obviously just had an incredible event that we came back from. So I think, for those who missed that event, I think let's tell them a little bit about that, because that was an incredible event. Definitely life-changing, I believe, for us and our team and organization. It was incredible. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the event and what you took away from it.
Yeah, if there was one thing that I took away from that event is it reminded me of 3 words that's changed my life. And you might want to write these 3 words down. And I think if you really take on board these 3 words and you embrace it, and it's called raise your standards in your life, So being able to see someone, a special guest speaker was someone by the name of Enrique. He's very successful in Herbalife. I think what he's done in Herbalife in the last, 5 years, 5, 6, 7 years, whatever he's been in Herbalife, he's been able to achieve what has taken, or what would take some people 20 years to achieve in Herbalife. And the number one reason why he's been able to achieve so much success and impact hundreds and thousands of people, I believe, within his community, and as well, being able to retire his family and retire his parents and his family, which I would love to do myself one day. And I would imagine some of you on this call would love to be able to do that as well. And being like under 35 years of age I would say that he has a particular standard in his life, and the one thing that I took back from that event, and this is the power of going to events, because really sometimes when I think I go to these events, and the number one thing that you lack, the reason why you're stuck in an area of your life, because sometimes I feel like before Herbalife, I feel like I was stuck in an area of my life. And some of you might be feeling that right now. And the biggest thing that's stopping you guys from getting unstuck in that area of your life is, would you guys believe that it's the belief that you have in yourself? Would you agree? And I believe that it's the same it's the same for a child. The biggest thing that I can say to my little sister, who's 12 years right now, that's going to allow her to become successful in any area of her life, is she needs to believe that she can do anything. And I think that was the biggest thing that I took away from that event is I'm going to come back. And if I think that going out there and impacting hundreds of people that I've done is a really big deal, I'm kidding myself, because he's pretty much the same age as me. I'm 31, and I believe Enrique is 32 years of age. Is that correct? If someone correct me. He's impacted hundreds of thousands of people. And that's the reason why he's financially independent. That's the reason why he's been able to retire his parents. I've got to come back and I've got to raise my own standards. So I would even challenge you guys on this call, is maybe you can lean on my story and you can say, if some guy with rheumatoid arthritis, and I don't have arthritis right now, I don't have some of the disadvantages that maybe I had, can do it, and I can put myself in the position I am right now, why can't you? Because I know for some of you on this call, being able to go out there and impact hundreds of people, it would be like a huge, massive goal for you guys. or even being able to earn like an extra $2,000 extra a month for some of you, that will make a huge impact in your life right now, right? And I don't mean that as in money is everything. I mean, for some of you guys, that could mean being able to pay for some of your groceries or pay for some of your bills or some of your debt. That could be life-changing for some people. So if I can do it, why can't you? So I'd encourage you guys, whatever your standard is, to go out there right now and raise your standard. And I'll just emphasize one thing. The one thing that I took away from Enrique, our special guest speaker, is he has an amazing transformation. You know, him and his family have an amazing transformation. So their belief in the brand and the company is so strong. So he's just going out there and he's just a messenger. And so I need to go out there and become a better messenger. I need to go out there and develop raving fan customers. That's really what I need to do, you know. So the number one thing is for me is, how do I find more raving fan customers?
Yeah, that's awesome. And Stephen, we've got one more question at the bottom there. Personal development. What is it you're listening to? Or perhaps what is it? Maybe your top 3 books as well.
Okay, awesome. So one of the things that I really love doing right now is, by the way, I'm always looking for a way to work smarter. That's one of the things that Herbalife taught me. And so I find if you can listen to audiobooks, which you can easily download an app called Audible, and you can go there, and instead of reading books, if you're like me and you're not a great reader and you read really slow, you can listen to audiobooks and you can go through books faster. But one of the things that I found even better for me than audiobooks has been going to the gym and listening to podcasts. So you can go and download an app called Podcast. It's free. Audiobook, you have to pay for it, but podcasts are free. And then I look up, you know, and then I search up, you know, specific people, you know. So you can type in, for example, someone like Jim Rohn, and you can type it into a podcast, and all the people that have recorded personal development stuff, or Eric Thomas, into the podcast. It's free. It's not going to cost you anything. And I find that listening to a podcast is sometimes a little bit better than listening to a book, because sometimes when you're listening to a book and you're trying to exercise, it doesn't really get you really excited and fired up. So it kind of makes you fall asleep, if anything like that. So I found the balance for me. Listening to a podcast is really cool. But by default, you know, honestly, default for me is I go to, you know, the founder of Herbalife, you know, Mark Hughes, Jim Rohn, which all of you that are part of Herbalife, you hear it all the time. And, you know, like a really cool podcast that I'm listening to right now that I'm really enjoying is The School of Greatness. And it's by a guy called Lewis House. He goes out there and he interviews all the people that are very successful in different areas of their life. And I love the title, you know, it's The School of Greatness. If you want to become great in your life, it's, you know, he's got a school. That's what he said. So you go and listen to that. So they've sort of been my default that I'm listening to right now. I love those. To be honest with you, I don't have a lot of time right now. I'm about to get married. I'm 2 weeks away from my wedding. I have a full-time job, which I do in the daytime. I coach clients. I help clients transform their lives after work. So I haven't been doing a lot of reading, to be honest with you. So, but if I had to tell you my top 3 books that I've read in my life so far, just off the top of my head, so I had to glance over my bookshelf, is the first one was the very first book I read. It's by the founder of the company that has the most happy people at work. And I believe it's by Zappos. It's called, sorry, I've got a mind blank right now. It's called Something Happiness. If you type in Zappos Happiness, you'll be able to find it. That's my number 1 book by default. The second book that's my most favorite is Good to Great. So it teaches what's the difference between someone good and someone great. My third book that's one of my favorite would probably have to be The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. So by Stephen Covey, if you want to write down, you know, like I'd love to find out a way of just like, you know, finding successful people. And if I know that there's 7 habits that make people successful, I'm definitely going to master that. And I'm not going to try and figure it out myself. So they're probably my top things. But I would say that the amazing thing, again, I can't emphasize this enough. You know, some people get involved in Herbalife because they say, Stephen, I just want to get a product result. Some people get involved in Herbalife because they said, I want to change my financial situation. But I would say that the most amazing thing about Herbalife is, like I mentioned before, is the person you become as a result of doing that. You know, I know definitely two of my sisters that are part of Herbalife right now. They've grown and they've become a better person because Herbalife naturally is just going to make you go and do personal development. It's going to naturally make you work on your mind, because when you start hanging around with people like Bo and so forth, constantly we're feeding off each other and we're sharing, like, what are you reading? What are you listening to? And again, who you hang around with, you're just going to become that sort of person. So just being around it alone, even if you get nothing out of being around the community, you're gonna feed off each other, and I'm sure you're gonna grow as a person. So definitely a huge benefit. It's one of the perks of just being around these amazing communities. Everyone loves to grow, you know. So hope that answers your question, bro.
That's awesome. No, that's perfect, Stephen. And, you know, we've got about a few minutes left, guys, so we're just going to wrap this up. If you do want to squeeze any more questions in, we might be able to do that. I'm just going to go over some of my notes that I took from Stephen's interview here tonight, guys. So obviously some of the best things that I got was, you know, you really got incredible results straight away. Not just for yourself, but you thought about the people around you that could use that need this and that could use the results, and you took it to them. You know, you got the results and then you took the results to them as well. So I think that's so important, and that builds such belief. And, you know, we can see the belief in you that you have within the company and the products because you did that. I think that's so important. You didn't really have anything else when it comes to education or background within the industry. You just had a strong desire, and, you know, and you really just wanted it. You just wanted to go get it. I like how you put 60 minutes aside for your clients, and you put 60 minutes aside to find new people. And you time that. Like, guys, if you did that 2 hours a day, working with your clients, looking for new clients, you know, that is literally could build a massive business from that. And then the last one was, you know, raise your standard. So important, guys. Those 3 words, if you really let it sink in, all you need to do to change your entire life is raise your standards. You know, whether it's going to the gym more, you know, raise your standards. If you want a better body, get to the gym more. If you want a better body, you need to eat better. Raise your standards. Somebody who looks like Steven doesn't eat terrible all the time. They don't have those cheat meals that we all say is, you know, just a cheat meal once every now and then. You know, because he's at a standard where that's just not what you do. You know, and that's the same with anything we do in this business, guys. If you want to get to that get meal pres team, all you need to do is raise your standard. So I think that's so important. You know, thank you, Stephen, guys. If there's no more questions, what we're going to do is basically we're going to wrap it off and thank Stephen for coming on. Before I do that, we do have to go through any upcoming events and anything like that. One of the main ones we're just going to touch on tonight, guys, is every Monday we have this call, guys. We've got a new guest speaker that's going to be announced very soon, unless Lisa and Brad have locked one of those in and want to announce that. I'm happy if they want to do that. No, we'll wait on that one. We'll lock one in and we'll announce it. Yep. Very pumped for that, guys. We've got so much. So that's going to be an incredible call next week. But, guys, for all the members and that out there on the call, this Wednesday, guys, 8 p.m., same Zoom ID, 316-007-0024. We're going to have the first ever Coach Academy, and we're going to be running that every week. And if I've got my schedule right, I believe it's Kaylee. Is it Kaylee running this Wednesday's Coach Academy?
It's Jay.
We'll find it out soon. To be announced as well. Anyway, guys, Coach Academy is going to be on there. This is where you're going to learn the basics of the business. You're going to hear from people that are doing well. We're going to do a lot of recognition and that on that call, guys. So Wednesday is a must. If you're ready, you know, obviously been inspired from Stephen's story and you're like, yep, it's time to get to work. What do I need to do? Well, you just need to jump on that call. Okay, Wednesday night, 8 p.m., guys. We'll see you there. And I'm super excited. And we're gonna again, Stephen. We're gonna jump off. So we're gonna unmute you. You know, you got a question, Stephen?
Yeah. One last thing, bro, that I want to share. Can I just share with you guys a tip that I think, especially if you're brand new, that's really gonna help you? Is I'm gonna encourage you guys to, especially for the brand new people on this call, and you're just getting started, and you're like, okay, what's one of the things that can really help you? You know, like not just get in the best shape of your life, but also be able to start, you know, like influencing and inspiring other people and earning some part-time income like me. Is I'm going to encourage you guys to document your journey on social media. So you know, for someone like Haley that's on the call, and I know that you're brand new because I heard Tamara introducing you before, you know, like if you're starting your journey, the best thing you can do is you can get in the best shape of your life, and you can also start documenting your journey on social media, because I know all of us, we have hundreds of friends on social media. And we're at a time and age where everyone's looking to, health is a priority for everyone, you know, whether it's now or whether when they're older. So I would encourage you, if you're brand new, to go and start documenting your journey on Facebook or on social media, and just even not even selling to other people, even taking a picture of you having your shake, or taking a picture of you with your workout shoes and saying, okay, you know, day one of my transformation. That alone, people are going to watch. That's what people do on Facebook, you know. So we're at an incredible time that's going to allow you to document your own transformation as you can go and build your business at the same time. It's an opportunity for you to kill two birds with one stone. So I'm going to encourage you. I'm going to encourage you guys, even if you're existing and you've been around for a long time and you feel kind of stuck, or you feel like you're rebuilding, here's a chance for you to recommit and say, look, hey, I'm going to make it a goal. Like Steven, I'm going to get to 10% body fat. That's my goal. I'm going to get to 15% body fat. I'm going to do it for myself. And as I do it for myself, I'm going to go out there and inspire the people and change the world at the same time. Because why not? And I want to leave you guys with a quote right now. That's probably my favorite quote right now. And it reminds me so much of Herbalife, right? It reminds me so much of every day what I get to do a part of Herbalife. And the quote is this: the highest form of success in your life is to succeed to other people. The highest form of success in your life right now is to find a way to succeed through other people. And so this is the amazing privilege that you get being a part of Herbalife, is as you become successful, and I don't mean success as in making money, I mean successful as in you get an amazing transformation, you being able to help a mom get in the best shape of her life. The highest form of success is finding a way to succeed through other people, because that's what the Dalai Lama said is the highest form of happiness. Is you become more happier if you go out there and help other people become happy. You go out there and help other people achieve their goals, and guess what? As you help other people achieve their goals, you're going to achieve your goals at the same time. So I just want to leave you guys with that, because that is really the core of what gets me out of bed to go out there and do things, even though when it's tough for me in Herbalife. And I promise you, it's going to be tough. It doesn't matter what you do in your life, whether it's Herbalife or something else. So I hope you guys don't mind me going over the time and leaving. Thank you, bro.
No, Stephen, that's incredible, guys. Let's give Stephen a big round of applause, guys. Thank you, Stephen, so much for coming on.
Thank you.
Just going to mute everyone again, guys. That's incredible. Thank you, guys, for coming on. Again, guys, don't forget, this Wednesday, we've got our Coach Academy. This is where you're going to learn the skills. And we've just confirmed it's Jake Wilmont that will be running the Coach Academy this Wednesday, guys. So, Jake, super excited to hear from you. Yeah, there he is. Hey, Jake, super excited to hear from Jake to run us through the Coach Academy. Again, super excited to have everyone on, guys. Let's go out there, guys. And don't forget, this call is open to anyone and everyone. So please feel free to invite anyone to this call. The Wednesday call will be for coaches only, though, guys, or people getting ready to get started in the business. All right, guys. Thanks, everyone, for coming on, and we'll see you all soon. Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Bye. Thank you. Bye.